Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. Basically, you will end up with a haircut shape up or an edge up. What they do is they tattoo small dots that look like hair follicles in the areas where you have lost your hair and then blend it with your existing hair. You can even choose what type of hairline you want, hard shape up or soft and natural finish. And to maintain it, all you gotta do is shave your hair every few days, which is something you already were probably doing anyway. So if you wanna get this hookup for my brothers out there in the UK and Europe, make sure you check out the ScalpThis on Instagram. And for my brothers out there in the States, make sure you go ahead and contact my man Scalp Carolinas on Instagram. And when you go on their pages, you can see for yourself what these guys look like before. I mean, these guys are literally hair magicians. I've never seen anything like this before, but all I can tell you guys is this is a serious game changer for us men. So make sure you get in contact with ScalpThis and Scalp Carolinas on Instagram. And for everybody in the States, make sure you mention DBN and get $200 off your tattoo.
Hi, it's Vinny. You're watching DontaesBoxingNation.
Dontae's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Man, it's getting serious. It is getting serious. And I tell you right now, what's turned out to be somewhat of a disappointing year because of the whole pandemic might just surprise us, because the second half of 2020 might just make up for the whole year. So Gary Russell Jr., who's been calling out everyone, and he's been avoided by a lot of fighters. He even called out Terrence Crawford. He's been calling out all of these fighters, and finally, someone actually reaches out to him, sends him an offer, and that's Devin Haney. Devin Haney wants to smoke with Gary Russell. I had reported before or uploaded a video where Gary Russell, he acknowledged that DAZN and Devin Haney, they offered him $1.5 million. And at first he said that he wants more than that, because he said he was willing to take 1.5 to fight Terrence Crawford because that fight was personal for him. But then after a while, he kind of wised up and he said, you know what? I'll take the 1.5 and I'll fight Devin Haney. So they're pretty much in negotiations right now. You guys have heard in the last video, my man Aki just dropped on my channel, reports that now Gary, he doesn't like some of the stipulations in the contract. According to Gary, DAZN is telling him if he wins the fight, they want to have him contracted to fight on DAZN for a couple fights. Not some long-term contract, but I think it's like 2 or 3 fights. But I personally think that's all going to get worked out, because there would be no reason for Gary Russell to pass up on an opportunity like this when he's been calling out so many big-name undefeated fighters, and for the most part, they've all been avoiding him. I'm talking about going all the way back to 126. Fighters like Abner Mares, Leo Santa Cruz, Oscar Valdez, and more. Now, I wouldn't include Terrence Crawford when it comes to ducking Gary Russell, because in that situation, Terrence Crawford, he had nothing to gain in a fight like that. I mean, if Terrence would have completely destroyed Gary Russell, we already know what everyone would have said. Oh, he just beat a featherweight. He just beat a 126 pounder, just like they said with Gamboa. Now, it would have been a great matchup if they were both naturally in the same weight class or even close, but they're not. Gary Russell has everything to gain in that fight, and Terrence Crawford, he has nothing to gain in a fight like that. This is the reason why I love the idea of Gary Russell versus Devin Haney. They're closer to the same weight, and this is a 50-50 fight. They've both been talking about beating each other's ass. You know, first Gary Russell, he said, yeah, I'll take the 1.5 and I'm gonna beat your ass. Now Devin Haney, he claps back on one of his social media accounts and he says, to Gary Russell and Eddie Hearn, I don't play with my business and nothing is personal. I'ma beat all the cap out of Gary Russell, watch. And when I beat the dog shit out of him, watch him make every excuse in the book like he did with Loma. So Devin sounds serious, man. Devin, he sounds real serious. I really think this fight is going to happen. I don't think Gary Russell is going to pass up on this great opportunity since he's been calling out fighters for so long. So many fighters. Matter of fact, it's funny because Devin Haney and Gary Russell, they're two of the most avoided fighters around. I mean, everyone is avoiding Devin Haney at 135. And Gary Russell, everyone was avoiding him at 126. So I think it would be a horrible business move for Gary Russell to walk away from this fight. Because if he can beat someone like Devin Haney, the most avoided fighter in the division, this opens up doors for so many great possible fights and opportunities for Gary Russell. And if Devin Haney wins this fight, the takeover begins. Let's see how it all plays out. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. You know, I always say on this channel, pay-per-view fights should actually be free. And now the day has come where I'm about to hook you up with an app where you can watch all your pay-per-view events, boxing, UFC, etc. for free. I want to introduce Block TV, the best internet streaming television app out there. They provide over 3,600 channels, including HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, and Stars. They have a massive video-on-demand library with over 40,000 of the new release movies and the latest TV series. And it also includes DVR, so you're getting all of this for $34.99 a month, and once again, that includes free pay-per-view. So this one right here is a no-brainer, guys, because back in Las Vegas, I was paying damn near $200 a month for my cable. Those days are long gone now. So to get the app, make sure you guys go over to getblocktv.com and put in my promo code and get 30% off your first month. You also get a free month for every friend you refer. The promo code is DBNation.